everyone, it's Destiny, and today we're going to be discussing Himeko as she got a new fun synergy with the Dahlia. So I thought now is the perfect time to give you all an updated Himeko guide. Before we begin today's video, let me know your favorite standard 5-star character in Honkai Star Rail. Mine would be Himeko and Bronya. Lastly, if you'd like to see more Star Rail content from me, consider subscribing to the channel, leave a like to support today's video, and now let's get straight into it. Let's begin with Himeko's kit. Himeko is a Fire Erudition character who revolves around gaining charges through herself or the rest of the team, breaking enemies' toughness meters, in order to unleash frequent follow-up attacks onto enemies. Starting off with Himeko's skill, she'll deal damage onto a main enemy as well as adjacents, with the main target receiving more damage than the adjacents. As for Himeko's ultimate, it has 120 energy costs, and she'll attack all enemies and regenerate 5 extra energy for each enemy defeated with her ultimate. Which this is a great way to gain additional energy that will assist toward using Himeko's ultimate more frequently. This can nicely be utilized when there are multiple enemies on the field, for example in Pure Fiction. As for Himeko's talent, this is a very crucial part of her kit. Himeko will gain charges when enemies are weakness broken, and once she has 3 charges, she will be able to unleash a follow-up attack onto all enemies. You can gain 1 charge from weakness breaking an enemy, and if you break an elite status or higher enemy, you'll gain 3 charges. Which means Himeko can immediately use her follow-up attack after breaking an elite status or higher enemy. Something important to mention though is that Himeko's charges will not stack the way that Jade stacks can overcap. And as a result, when playing Himeko, you'll want to strategically plan when to weakness break enemies in order to unleash as many follow-up attacks as possible. As for Himeko's technique, she'll create a dimension that has a 100% base chance to increase the fire damage taken by enemies by 10% for 2 turns. When it comes to Himeko's traces, her first trace, Starfire, allows her to have a 50% chance to burn enemies when attacking them. Her second trace, Magma, synergizes nicely with this, as her skill will deal 20% more damage to enemies inflicted with burn, and her final trace, Benchmark, increases her crit rate by 15% if her HP is at 80% or higher. Having good sustainability on a team allows Himeko to essentially gain a free 15% crit rate. For her minor chases, she gains 22.4% fire damage, 18% attack, and lastly 10% effect resistance. Now let's go over Himeko's Eidolons before moving on to team synergies. Her first Eidolon gives her a 20% speed increase for 2 turns after unleashing a follow-up attack from her talent. This will result in about 19 extra speed. This allows Himeko to more comfortably use attack boots while still benefiting from the extra speed, or this can assist with reaching higher speed thresholds for Himeko. Her second Eidolon increases her damage by 15% against enemies at or below 50% HP. Her fourth Eidolon grants her an extra charge when her skill breaks an enemy, which can be useful when you're breaking non-elite enemies. Lastly, her sixth Eidolon adds 2 additional hits to her ultimate, each dealing 40% of the original damage to random enemies. Now that we've gone over Himeko's kit, let's discuss her team synergies. Himeko can be used as a hyper carry, secondary DPS, or a super break DPS. With the Dahlia's release though, building Himeko to be super break centric has become a stronger option to consider for a Himeko team. Himeko on a super break team would consist of using her alongside the Dahlia, then the remaining choices for the team being Harmony Trailblazer, Ruame, and Fugue, or adding a sustain option, preferably Gallagher or Linksha if you decide to use a sustain. The Dahlia is going to be able to implant fire weakness onto all enemies, which can nicely benefit Himeko's playstyle, as this will result in her having an easier time breaking enemies, as well as the rest of the team, especially if you're using a mono fire team. In the case of a non-mono fire team, if the enemy is imaginary weak, Harmony Trailblazer can nicely assist with breaking imaginary weak enemies thanks to their bounce attacks from their skill. The other benefits the Dahlia will be able to provide is that the team will be able to deal super break damage onto enemies before they're broken. They'll be able to reduce enemies' defenses, increase the weakness breaking efficiency of the team, and so on. Harmony Trailblazer would enable the team to deal super break damage onto enemies as well as increase the break effect of the team. Ruame can increase the team's weakness breaking efficiency, boost the team's speed, give allies ulti burst pen from her ultimate, and so on. As for Fugue, she inflicts Cloud Flame Luster onto enemies, which will make them have an exo toughness meter. resulting in the team being able to break those enemies twice now. This benefits Himeko's playstyle as she'll be able to gain more charges now and unleash more follow-up attacks as a result. As for alternative options, you can consider Hyper Carry Himeko, which would consist of Himeko using a crit-centric build, and you can make a team of Himeko with 3 additional supports or Himeko with 2 additional supports and then a sustain. For some of her Hyper Carry support options, you can consider Sunday, Tribby, Robin, Remembrance Trailblazer, Silver Wolf, Cypher, Paylot, and so on. Sunday would be able to provide Himeko 100% action advance, allowing her to attack enemies more often, resulting in more opportunities to break enemies. Sunday will be able to provide crit rate, crit damage, energy for Himeko, damage boost, and if you use Dawn Hung on the team, you can nicely take advantage of all of Sunday's buffs from Dawn Hung giving Soul Dragon to Himeko, which will now count as her having a summon. As for Tribby, she can provide the team ulti-burst pen, inflict vulnerability debuffs onto enemies while her ultimate zone is active. She can nicely utilize Dance Dance Dance, which can result in the team attacking sooner, and if you have an E1 Tribby, then you can take advantage of the true damage while her zone is active as well. Robin will be able to provide team-wide damage boosts, attack buffs, action advance, and so on. As for Remembrance Trailblazer, they can provide Himeko with additional crit rate, crit damage, 100% action advance, and a true damage buff from Mem's support. Silver Wolf can implant fire weakness onto enemies as well as nicely debuff enemies through her kits as well. Ultimately, there are numerous options that you can use for a hyper carry centric team. Now that we've gone over some team synergies, let's go over how to build Himeko. For a super break build, I would recommend using the Iron Break set on Himeko as well as Forge or Dahlia for her planar set. You'll want to heavily focus on getting Himeko break effect and speed subsets for a break build, so I would also recommend aiming for a break rope and speed boots. For the Iron Break set, you'll want 250% break effect or above within battle. As for a crit-centric Himeko, you can use Ash Blazing Grand Duke, which will boost follow-up damage and attack. You can also consider alternative crit-centric relic sets as well. As for planars, you can use the Wondrous Banana Amusement Park, especially if Dawn Hung is on the team. Other options could be Sigonia, Duran Dynasty, Inert Salcedo, and so on. For main stats, you'll want to use a crit body, speed or attack boots, fire damage or attack orb, and attack rope. Substats should be prioritizing crit rate, crit damage, speed, and attack. As for Himeko's light cones, for her break build, I would recommend After the Charmony Fall or Ninjutsu Inscription. As for a crit build, I would recommend Before Dawn, Yet Hope is Priceless, Into the Unreachable Veil, A Dream Scented in Wheat, Night on the Milky Way, Eternal Calculus, Genius's Repose, and so on. Overall, I've been having a lot of fun playing Himeko alongside the Dahlia recently, and it is nice to see a new character she can nicely work with. I also wonder eventually if our standard 5-star characters will be able to get the Nova Flare buff. That'd be pretty cool to see, and I wonder if Himeko in particular will lean more towards the break playstyle if they do decide to give her a Nova Flare buff. For example, maybe making some of her traces more break oriented, or even making some of the aspects in her kit more break oriented. We'll just have to wait and see if they eventually do decide to buff the standard 5 stars, but that would be very nice to see if they do decide to do that. Also, I'm really hoping that we eventually get another Himeko in the game. I'm really hoping that 4.x will give us a new Himeko, since we've been getting new versions of March, we've been getting new versions of Dawn Hung. I'd love to see more love given to Welt as well as Himeko. I'd also love to know if there's anything you are hoping for in version 4.0 or beyond. And lastly, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to subscribe to see more Star Rail content from me. Leave a like to support today's video, and I hope you all have a great one. Peace.